We all learned about colonialism in school, right? Empires, conquests, the whole shebang. But colonialism didn't just disappear when the flags came down. It left behind power structures that still impact us today. This is what we call coloniality. It's the lingering fear and power dynamics that remain long after the bully's gone. It's in the air we breathe, the stories we tell, the way we see the world and each other. Colonialism was all about drawing lines, both on maps and between people. It created this idea of us versus them, the colonizer versus the colonized. And guess who often gets slotted into that them category today? You got it, migrants and refugees. See, colonial thinking paints a picture of migrants as somehow less than, as problems to be solved or threats to be managed. It justifies treating them differently, excluding them, and denying them opportunities. Sound familiar? We see this in migration policies that make it nearly impossible for people to seek safety or a better life. We see it in the way migrants are portrayed in the media, often as criminals or burdens. And we see it in the everyday prejudice and discrimination they face. It's like this: coloniality created a playbook, and some countries are still running the same old plays when it comes to migration. Time for a rewrite, don't you think? Now, let's get specific. Australia, the land of sunshine and shrimp on the barbie, also has a dark history of colonialism. And guess what? That history still casts a long shadow on how the country deals with migration today. For starters, Australia was built on the displacement and dispossession of Aboriginal people. That's right, the very foundation of the nation was about telling a group of people they don't belong. Fast forward to today, and we see similar patterns playing out with migrants and refugees. Think about Australia's offshore detention centres. These places are like holding pens for people desperate enough to risk everything for a chance at a better life. It's a system that dehumanises and punishes people seeking safety, and it's deeply rooted in colonial ideas about who deserves compassion and who doesn't. Australia's story isn't unique, but it's a powerful example of how coloniality continues to shape the experiences of migrants and refugees around the world. Colonialism was a masterclass in control. To control people, you need to categorize them. Racial classification creates hierarchies of human worth. It's about saying some people are naturally superior. Knowledge construction decides whose voices are heard. Colonialism imposed a single dominant narrative. Institutional control maintains power imbalances. Think about immigration laws and education systems. Here's the thing about coloniality. It benefits some at the expense of others. It creates a system of privilege based on things like race, nationality, and origin. And often those who benefit from this system don't even realize it exists. It's like wearing a pair of glasses that distort your vision. You might not even see the distortion, but it shapes how you see the world and your place in it. Unpacking coloniality is about taking off those glasses, about confronting uncomfortable truths about power and privilege. It's about recognizing that the playing field isn't level and that some people have to jump through way more hoops just to get to the starting line. And it's about using our voices and our platforms to challenge these injustices. Pause. 3. So, where do we go from here? How do we dismantle a system that's so deeply ingrained in our societies? It starts with awareness, with educating ourselves and others about the legacy of colonialism and how it continues to impact us today. We need to listen to the voices of those most affected by coloniality, to center their experiences and perspectives. We need to challenge the dominant narratives that perpetuate harmful stereotypes and prejudice. And crucially, we need to push for structural changes that address the root causes of inequality and discrimination. This means dismantling racist policies, reforming institutions, and creating a more just and equitable world for all. It's a long and winding road, but it's a journey we have to take. Because ultimately, dismantling coloniality is about building a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of where they come from or the color of their skin. Let's get to work.